It's sunrise at Mudjimba, and I thought I'd strike out early because it's the first morning we haven't had rain for oh so long. But guess what? Just under rain. So I managed to find my way to the beach dry, but I don't reckon I'll get home dry. This is Mudjimba Island. The trade winds are starting to blow in. Southeasterly, about 10 to 15 knots. And pretty soon the grey nomads in boats will be making their annual migration north with the whales, and hoping for a little bit of fine weather as they do that. At this time of year I come out here and I try and count the number of sails on the horizon heading north, and there's often anything up to half a dozen of them on their way up to the Whitsundays to spend the winter up there. I'm reminded that no matter what your day was like yesterday, no matter what went wrong, and many things can and do, they did for me, the promise of a new morning is always there. And getting out early and getting the blood pumping has always been a great way for me to forget what's behind and press on towards the goals. So there are a lot of projects on at the moment. I've started the fiberglass restoration project on a Sunmade 20, and you'll be seeing some pretty regular videos, updates on that over the coming weeks. And I'd just love to get more people subscribing so that I can keep the videos coming. More people that subscribe, the better it is. More people see the videos, and the work gets rewarded. We've had so much water flowing out of the river every day. I think we had half a metre of rain so far in May, or up till the 20th of May was half a metre. And so when the swirls whip up in the fresh water, it pushes this foam at the beach. And we once lost our cavoodle bouncing around in the foam. She came back eventually, but she got a heck of a shock when she jumped into it. So the Sunshine Coast has been anything but the Sunshine Coast this year. In the 12 years that we've lived up here, this has been the wettest for the longest. Someone said yesterday that it's only rained twice this year. The first time for 41 days and the second time for 63 days. And I think that's pretty true. We've had a lot of rubbish that has come out of the river, and there's a fair bit of debris washed up on the beach. It's taken a bit of sand away, but the sand comes and the sand goes. The coffee rock that you can see there gets exposed. I've seen it exposed much more than that actually, and we found some scribings in the soft coffee rock that went back to about 1953. So certainly not the first time the sand's been washed away, but it does come back. Seeing quite a few people out here this morning walking, exercising their dogs, because that's what happens when you get a fine morning after weeks and weeks of rain. If you can see over in the distance there, that's Point Cartwright at the mouth of the Malula River near Malula Bar, popular destination on the Sunshine Coast. And normally at this time of year we get what we call the winter refugees making their way up from Tasmania. And usually if the sun's out you can spot them quite clearly by their cherry red skin. Certainly from this time of year on they start popping up. starting to reunite with families, both nationally and internationally as well. So you'll probably notice, like I have, new friends popping up on Facebook from different places around the world, catching up with their kids after a couple of years. So I'm starting to put out a few videos, getting back into my videography, because it's all the things I'm doing. It's what I love doing most. Is little adventures, whether it's making something, fixing up something, fixing up a boat, or sailing a boat, heading off on an adventure. I like putting that story together and just sharing it. Made some wonderful friends through the connections through the internet and through the YouTube channel, through Facebook. So always feel free to place comments, like the videos, and I always try to respond to just about every comment that comes through on there. And also, as this project on the Sunmade 20 starts to progress, I'm looking for advice from the herd. I think it was Phil that gave me some great information on centreboards in Sunmades. They're not a deep dagger type of swinging forward centreboard like you get on the Sonatas or racing style boats. It comes down more like a triangular piece and sits up in the centre case with a fair bit of surface area in there. And when you get the barnacles and the rust, they can freeze in place, and it's a cow of a job to get them out. I did that with a friend who had a far, I think it was a 550 far, and centre board was seized in the centre case. And I didn't realise how difficult that was to get out. We ended up, it's a smaller boat, so we took it off the trailer, we sat it on his front lawn, and the two of us grabbed the halyards, and we managed to heave on them sufficiently to get the boat on its side. But I remember thinking that we were about to become a human catapult over his neighbour's fence, as you start to get a feeling for what the righting moment is on one of those boats. Anyway, we got it on its side, we tied it down, lashed the mast down, and slipped it out sideways. But I think if there's two ways of going about things, a hard way and an easy way, it was definitely the hard way. And I won't be doing that again, especially not with this bigger boat. But a friend on YouTube from Tewantin was kind enough to offer me a gantry, and pretty soon I'll be taking him up on that offer, and hopefully it'll fit down the side of the house. And I can lift the boat in a controlled, scientific and safe manner off the trailer, pull the trailer out from underneath, and that'll enable me to drop the centreboard out and do the necessary bottom works that need to be done, having just scraped off all the barnacles. There'll be a fair bit of sanding there. I'm looking at sanding options at the moment. So just want to put a shout out to David Richardson, who was my one and only supporter on Patreon at one stage. And then I shut that down because I just didn't have the time to devote to it. But David invited me down. We had a wonderful sail on a Swanson 36. Bit of a shakeout down at Wynnum Manly. And then following up on that, David has joined me in this Sunmade project and making it possible to get back into a project boat, which I was lacking. And so it's pretty exciting stuff. We've also got to keep the wheels oiled and keep the cash coming in. I've got a deck floor sanding job coming up in a week, also subject to weather, of course. It's been pushed forward. I've got an installation of some beautiful Queensland brush box, which also has been pushed out because the builders up here are really struggling to get foundations in. So that's been impacting on cash flow quite a bit for me. So as soon as those projects start up, I'll have to down the camera for a little while. I've been producing some little business videos for people, so 2-minute business promos. They're a bit of fun. Get to know people, ask them who they are, what they've done and what they can do for you, which is always a pretty good model. It was taught to me by a great friend Craig. Shout out to you, Craig, if you're watching this. Many little phrases that I've learned from you over the years, that sort of things that you can hang on to, that are just the models, and that one, who you are, what you've done, what you do for you, is a terrific way of promoting your business. I'm not sure how much this wind's affecting this call. Maybe if I go this way it might be a bit better. So there's the dunes. So I'm going to head back for freshly brewed coffee and breakfast with my beautiful wife, and then see what the day holds. See if I can mitigate some of the things, some of the challenges that I faced yesterday. That's life, eh? We can't do anything about the past. We can't do anything about the future apart from live in the moment. It's the decisions that we make today that will determine the outcomes for the future. So that's my plan. I'm sticking with it. And remember, another friend Jean said, remember, it all works out in the end. Okay, you have a great day, and I'd love to hear from you. Post your comments, and click like, subscribe, and I'll see if I can get this channel really up and flying. We're nearly up to 3,000 subscribers now, which is quite satisfying, but I'd love to get that up to 300,000 if I could. Okay, you have a good day. Signing off now. Cheers. Watch out for the next video. Trying to decide whether I'm going to publish it Wednesday or Sunday. Probably Sunday, I'd say. No, actually, let me think. No, I'll publish it Friday night. That gives people any time over the weekend. So it's the next stage of the episode 2 of the Sunmade project, a fiberglass boat restoration project. Okay, have fun. Talk soon.